Hello everyone, Shirley here. Today I thought it'd be fun to review all the Mythic dungeons, and now that we've done all 10 of them rather, for 3 weeks in a row now, since Mythic Plus is opening up next week, and we really get to sink our teeth into them. I am joined today by my friend, Butcherlisk. He's a warrior at the moment, playing arms as well. And we're gonna just talk real casually today about each of the Mythic dungeons, what we think about them going forward into Mythic Plus, and eventually, rating is coming out too, so that might be a little bit of a discussion as well. But starting off, we're just going to go down the list and kind of give our thoughts and impressions about this. We've had a few beers too, so there's not very formal video or anything like that. First up, I suppose I should let my buddy here introduce himself. Say hello, I suppose.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, God. Starting off that way. Anyway, getting right into it, the first dungeon we're going to be talking about is Alcatraz today. The troll dungeon. One of two-ish? I guess there's a couple more trolls in them, but major troll dungeons. The gold city. It's very Mayan, I think.
El Dorado.
Yeah, what are our thoughts on Alcatraz? I really like the aesthetic of it, I guess. It's really pretty. I like the big open pit.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it, and I think I'd like it a lot more if I didn't get burnt out doing it in the beta so many damn times.
Yeah, you got a point there. Luckily, I didn't grind out the beta too much myself, but,
No, that's pretty cool.
The boss is in there. Let's see. We got a... The only thing I remember really distinctly about Alcatraz that pops into my head first is the generic bad guy yelling at you from across the platform all the time. the Yasma, I think, is their name.
Yeah. The spider girl.
Yeah, the Drider, or the Drider troll thing that's just screaming at you the whole time. It just needs to, put her pinky up to her corner of her mouth to really snicker at you. But the priestess... Alnunza, I don't even know how to say this girl's name. Alunza? That's about right. Priestess Alunza, the Blood Lady. This is a reused mechanic. Where have we seen this before? When you gotta... She does the blood siphon, and you gotta go get the debuff to hurt the boss or whatever. It's a good mechanic, I think. I mean, I don't have any... It's like the major mechanic of the fight, right?
I like it, except nobody usually does it because it's so new, I guess.
yeah, that'll be interesting in Mythics. Plus, how that's going to scale. She's just going to, instantly heal the fold if somebody misses it. Hopefully not.
Oh, I'm sure. It does quite a bit. If you got, two... One's not so bad. If you get two or more people not doing the mechanic.
Keep this rolling here. We got a lot to go through. The second boss, Volcal. He's the undead big troll guy. I don't know, you gotta kill the totems, and then you just tank and spank them around. I don't really care for this boss myself. How do you feel about it?
I could see it being a problem if people don't kill the totems on time, or, synchronized. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah, we'll have to wait.
Other than that, it's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah, it's easy. I actually pugged this, let's see, was it earlier this week, or it doesn't matter. And we actually killed them out of sync, and then we had to kill them 3 times because they kept healing. That'll be a pain. Razan. Yeah.
I like Razan.
Razan's cool.
As a warrior, dude, Razan's my shit, dude.
Yeah.
The fear. Just get out of it.
Hell, you can even save your Blade Storm for a second fear when you don't have the CD for it, if you want. And cheese with the little bone raptors, if you're feeling frisky, I suppose. But I like Razan too.
I'll Zerk the first one and then just leap, wait the last second, leap to a pillar, and charge back in, and it's great.
He bugs out occasionally. I've had him reset on me twice already since it came out, so hopefully they fix that before keys come out. Last boss, Yasma, the Drider. All she really does is put that debuff on you that makes you spawn ads, and you gotta run away and kill the ads. I think it's really trivial on 0. The ads die in 1 hit. It's just doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, so hopefully they scale them up a little bit, because right now you don't even have to run that far away with the debuff. You can basically stand 10 feet away from the boss, throw a whirlwind, and just drop everything. So other than
those puddles to one shot, I think, on Tyrannical Week, it's gonna be
Oh
Pretty
yeah,
fun.
I forgot she even had those, actually. That is a good point. All in all, Altaldazar, I enjoy the aesthetic of it, but it's kind of an average dungeon for me mechanically.
For sure, average, I'd say.
Next in line, we got Freehold, the pirate dungeon. Aesthetically, in my opinion, I love it. It's Booty Bay, but cooler. It's Booty Bay for 2018, you know? And
Yeah.
I like pirates and all that stuff. What do you think about the aesthetic of the dungeon?
I like it. It's not my favorite one at all. We'll get to that one later, but I like it for sure.
The first boss, Skycap and Crag, with the parrot mount.
Got it shits on you for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Annoying as hell.
he talks way too much. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but when you're clearing that trash up to him, he's screaming at you constantly. I think they need to cut his dialogue down to like half.
It's like literally every 8 seconds he's screaming about the bird shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, the fight itself though is I don't know, he does that shockwave thing in front of him, right, on the tank. Like, other than that, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He does the jump thing. It's really...
The bird, you gotta watch that bird.
Yeah, the bird spitting, I guess. But...
Well, no, like, on the actual fight. Yeah. Like, he does that charge. If you're in line with that charge, you get wrecked.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's pretty easy to dodge, though, you know, so I never really... I don't see that really changing much on higher keys. The Council of Captains is the next one. The three were the ones you got to go drink the beer around the the island to get friendly with one, otherwise you got the damage buff. Still a lot of people that don't seem to realize that yet.
Yeah.
The fight itself, if you have a really good tank, I think the fight's pretty easy, because you can just drag them together and cleave them down, and as arms warriors, that's, you know, our bread and butter.
Got you.
Yeah, right now, but... I like it. I like the little one that jumps away and does the giant cone with her gun shooting in front of her that kind of works its way around like a clock. I think it's a pretty fun fight. And then the big guy Blade Storms, which actually hurts too.
Yeah.
Unlike most bosses.
Every time I get in that group, I feel like every tank I get doesn't know what they're doing, and it's just kind of like, oh shit. I'm like trying to DPS, but trying not to die at the same time.
Yeah, you gotta go chase down the range one all the time. It's like, just drag him over here so I can cleave. Ring of Booty, the third boss.
The unofficial Ring of Blood we've been missing out on for a while now.
Yeah, that is true. What do we think about the Ring of Booty? Oh man, I actually really like all the dialogue beforehand. I got a kick out of it. At first, it was like, I get it, but the more I listen to it, the funnier it gets in a weird sort of way. So I appreciate that. The greased up pig part
annoying.
Is annoying, yeah, but it's amusing to hear the commentary after you catch the pig. So I mean, it wasn't like Shark Tornado too. So, and you get to kill one of the tortilla turtles. I'm a fan of Ring of Booty. What do you got? Anything?
Yeah, he's actually. I think that it's actually a reference to Mario. He's like the first boss in the old Mario, the Ludwig turtle guy, or the
wow,
Koopa.
You're right.
The
yeah.
Koopas.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
I know, I like that.
The next one, Harlan, or the final boss, he's got the cannon fire that comes in, and he summons a little ad, does the gold stuff, yells at you. He's kind of cool. I don't mind the debuff, and you kind of chase it around. It reminds me of the Cenarius roots from Emerald Nightmare. It targets somebody, and you just kind of scatter them around like that. But
yeah. I hate him. He won't drop my freaking parrot.
Yeah, you got a point there. We'll get a lot of time ahead of us at least. Kind of want to add the trash in Freehold up to that last boss, those last couple of packs before Harlan. If you pull them all, which we've done, it's it can get pretty tense, but it's a lot of AOE. It can be fun.
Does I wonder? Well, probably not. I was gonna say, I wonder if those bombs like kill friendlies or NPCs. I mean.
Oh, on the boss himself, I really doubt it, but I don't know. Something to test, I suppose. The third in line is actually one of the two locked dungeons right now, being King's Rest in Siege of Paralysis. We're going to talk about King's Rest first, the other major troll dungeon at the moment. Inside the crypt, of course, less gold. What do we think about King's Rest?
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, aesthetically, I like the giant bottomless pit. And it's like a
Yeah,
it's like a mausoleum. Reminds me
the
of.
old troll kings and shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's got some of the hardest trash in the entire game at the
Oh
moment,
yeah,
I'd
for
say.
sure.
The bosses in there are easy compared to some of the trash, I'd say. The Gold Serpent being the first boss, he spawns ads, kite him, kill him. I imagine you'll have to kill him at later keys, but it's not that big of a deal. But the trash right after him, much more difficult than the boss itself. Let's see. The second boss, God, Michumba the Embalmer. Oh, it's the mummy guy, the guy that throws in the
Yeah, I
coffins.
like this one. I like this one.
Yeah, yeah, the mummy guy. And you just sit there banging away at the coffin on the edge. Fun fact.
Surprisingly, okay. Sorry, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, fun fact: if you're blade storming when you get targeted by the entomb or whatever it's called, when he puts you in the, since blade storm makes you immune to CC, it'll instantly throw you out of the coffin. I found that out on accident when I was running it.
That's good to know. I like that one. I was just gonna say surprisingly, because I haven't done that one with the guild. It's just been pugs, and surprisingly, nobody has actually misclicked a sarcophagus or whatever that you want to call them, a cask or whatever yet.
Does something happen if you misclick it? I didn't even.
Yeah, if you click the
that.
wrong one, I think he spawns like a bunch of ads you got to deal with.
Oh my, well, that's good to know. Would have found that out the hard way.
Yeah,
I suppose.
The probably.
Third boss, the Council of Tribes, the totem guys. Pretty straightforward. Each boss within the fight itself is, I have like one mechanic: totems, the blade storm thing, the charge thing. Then you put them all together, and it gets a little bit more challenging. It's a neat fight. I don't mind it so much. It gets interesting, obviously, towards the third target, I suppose. But leading up to that, it's pretty easy.
Those annoying ass axes the whole time.
Yeah, aesthetically the room is kind of mediocre. After coming out of the mummy room, it's not as good. And then the last boss, Dazar, the first king. I wish he would just drop my sword already.
Yeah, or the mount.
Yeah, or the mount. I really like this fight, actually. He summons the raptors, so there's a little bit of ad management and cleave going on. But the Indiana Jones segment, when he sets the floor on fire, and you got to run around in a circle, I love that. It's pretty fun.
That's definitely a cool fight. I'm actually worried, not about that boss, but the mini boss, Zool, right before him.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's apparently, I mean, not, like,
They just nerfed him, actually. Yesterday,
really?
Yeah. One of his abilities got nerfed by a little bit. I saw it in a hot patch.
I was gonna say, as like, an ex-healer main, I've heard from my healer buddies, like, that debuff, I guess he puts a dot, like he hits you initially, and then it's like a dot or something, and apparently that dot just like ticks like a truck. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see on like higher keys how that pans out. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Save cooldowns for him rather than the boss, probably.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our next dungeon is Shrine of the Storm. I want to say first, the entrance to this place. I mean, what's cooler than a giant stone kraken wrapped around a mountain like a bridge? I think it looks awesome. So
what are you talking about, Kraken? That's Cthulhu, man.
Well, of course. No. It's oh my god. Why can't I think of his name? It's N'Zoth.
N'Zoth.
Yeah, it's the old god wrapped around it.
The Octoman himself.
The inside is less interesting, I'd say. The most part of it leading up to the bridge, like the first 3/4 of the dungeon, is you're just fighting on the terraces. It's less inspired than the giant looming octopus, of course. And then when you get inside, that's pretty cool in the actual shrine, and then going underwater to see the ghost ship or whatever in the back. That's all pretty neat. The boss is in there though. First one's the glorified water elemental boss. What do you think about him?
He's neat. I mean, it's not anything cool or anything, but he's all right. I like the dude. What's his name? Like before, I guess when he first, Storm Song. When you first see him, he's like in human form, and by the time you get to the end, he's like Cthulhu boy or N'Zoth boy. Yeah. He's made the dark transformation.
Yeah. The boss itself, though, Akir, whatever his name, the water elemental. He's okay. He splits apart. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
Nothing too inspired. Next fight is the Tide Sage Council. It's the melee buff dude and the caster. And it's okay. I think once people actually figure out the mechanics of dealing with each of them, it's going to be a pretty tank and spake fight. And neither one of them are that interesting to look at either, but, you know, they're alright. And then Lord Stormsong himself, I like a lot, actually, because the guy's voice reminds me of that dude from Star Wars. It's really, really deep. That's the first thing that pops into my head. But the fight itself is pretty neat. I like the whole MC mechanic. Then you got to go gather the orbs, or you can just kite them around. I'm wondering in like a +10 if we're going to end up just kiting the orbs around the whole time. Like if the orbs will just kill the MC player or something if you're not careful.
Well, yeah, apparently that's what you're supposed to do. Like if you get MC'd, you still have control of your... I've never actually been MC'd, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can still control yourself.
Yeah, you can.
And you want... I think everybody wants to kite the orbs until somebody gets MC'd, and that MC'd guy will go eat the orbs to get out of them. So.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But I wonder... So, like, I've been MC'd, and if you grab a couple of them too fast, it'll kill you. So I'm wondering on, like, Tyrannical, if that's just going to outright kill you after, like, one, and you'll just have to perpetually kite the whole time. We'll see. I don't know if it scales that way or not.
Bet you can eat like one, maybe.
Probably.
And have to kite the rest.
They're slow, regardless.
Yeah.
And then the last fight, Volzith the Whisperer, the faceless guy underwater.
This guy's annoying.
He's the fight from Azul Nerub from Wrath. It's the exact same fight. When you get MC'd or put into the Shadow Realm, you gotta kill the ads. Except this time we gotta interrupt the little octopus things. He's pretty easy. I think the hardest part is being positioned after you come out. If you kill the little dudes, and then you come out and there's the black swirly thing on the ground that he leaves. That can do a lot of damage, and I imagine the higher keys, that's just going to instantly kill you.
Yeah. He'll just spawn out of the Shadow Realm and die, yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be frustrating, because you can't see it, you know, and maybe you can move the ads. I've never actually tried, because you can interrupt them, you know, when they're casting, but I don't know if they actually move, or if they just instantly recast again. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Next dungeon is the other Mythic only right now, Siege of Borealis, the Alliance one. What do we think about this?
This is the one that was, it's my, like, most aesthetically pleasing one. Like, this is really cool, I think.
Really like the city of Borealis.
Well, I mean, not the, I just like you're like, I don't know, they're just sieging the place, you know, like you got Azerite bombs blowing up in the background, the city's on fire, like it's, I don't know, pretty cool, I think.
It's what you would imagine, you know, a war zone would look like in Warcraft, I guess.
The skybox is pretty, like, just, you know, all the fire glowing, and
the skybox
like,
is very pretty.
You can see the bombs flying through the air and crap, and people screaming, all the chaos. I don't know, I think it's great. I love it.
I think this dungeon has one of the coolest, like, corridor segments in the game, and it's not super complicated or anything. It tickled me to death the first time I saw it, but we'll get to that in a second. The first boss is Sergeant Bainbridge. It's the big dude that summons ads and just fixates on somebody and chases them around. I really wish you could cleave him with the ads. Obviously you can't. I mean, depending on how he gets drug around, you gotta drag him over the bombs. A lot of people learned that the hard way. He's an alright fight. I don't mind him so much. You can get some
I think he's great, because I've never been never been targeted by him, so I just like,
him the whole time.
I just get I just get to kill everything. But I'm sure if I got as a melee, I would suck. But
yeah,
I like that fight. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever been fixated either. Maybe he doesn't target melee. Maybe it's a ranged only mechanic. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody in the comments can let us know. Right after him, though, you have that corridor on the boardwalk right by the water's edge, and you have that little awning roof over you, and there's those guys at the end that scream fire when you're walking down that hall.
Yeah, I learned that part the hard way.
Yeah, that was great. Week 1, when nobody knew what they were doing, we all just, the 5-man party, running down that corridor with fire, just get mowed down. Oh, I laughed my ass off the first time that happened. I like that a lot.
Yeah, those guys hit like a truck. I was like, I wasn't even, I was like listening to music or something. I was just like going along through it, enjoying the scenery, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, I see my health bar just like like I'm like, oh my god! And just like heroically, I realized what was going on. I just like leaped behind a like bunch of boxes. Yeah, I was like, holy crap, that was close.
So I didn't pay any attention to how far ahead they were. I'm like, yeah, I'll just keep walking forward and charge them or something. Nope. Killed all of us. But yeah, after him, the Dread Captain Lockwood, the pirate ship girl that has the cannon. I like this fight. I think... I'm not sure if it's percentage. I don't think it's percentage based. I think it's time based when she jumps on her boat. So there might be a point when gear allows us to just desert her and kill her before she even jumps on her boat, thus negating a big part of the fight. So we'll see on that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure we'll be able to get gear. I don't know, man. Like every time I don't know what it is about that boss. Every time I do it, I'm like, it's like me, the tank, and maybe the healer. I've had to kill me and the tank have, like I think 2 weeks out of the 3 we've done it. I think me and the tank have had to 2-man it because everybody just like either dies to that. I think everybody just dies to that Azurite crap all over the place.
Yeah, there's a lot of AOE on the ground. Those
a lot of AOE.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a cannon barrage or what. When you're managing the ads, I suppose it's gonna be kind of hard to get around. The next one's that sea giant, Hadal Darkfathom, the guy that calls the tidal wave in a square. Pretty simple fight. I like it though. It reminds me of Pokemon casting Surf every time it's the giant tidal wave coming across.
I like his. I wish his shoulders were. I mean, obviously can't wear them, but I love his shoulder piece. That ship. It's like his.
Yeah, need a T-Mog of it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a cool fight. I messed up at first. I thought it was LOS, but I wasn't, and I got wrecked. But yeah, I like being like a warrior. I can just leap to that statue or the.
Yeah,
to the statue.
Pretty tank and spank fight. He does have the little AOE things in the ground, but they're not too hard to dodge.
Yeah, it's easy.
The last boss is Vikgoth. It's a Q, I think. The Kraken. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight first.
Lady Proudmoore has a Kraken?
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly.
No, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's cool, but it's like weird. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a boss fight. It seems like a.
Yeah, I thought it was neat to see the Kraken, but I'd much rather just be hitting like Deathwing fingernails. Like have the tentacles slap the ground or something rather than. Well, I mean, you are hitting the tentacles, I guess. What am I thinking? But just freeing the dudes and then firing the cannon. I don't know. Maybe it should have some kind of a finale. Like after you shoot the 3 cannons, you have to smack its face or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool, but I'm not actually a fan of the fight itself. But it's whatever.
Mechanically, it's kind of a letdown. Anyway, we are.
Oh, don't step on the water, boys. The sharks are hungry. You'll get wrecked.
Yeah. At the beginning, that's pretty neat seeing them jump out and eat that guy when he just jumps off the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Well, we're only about halfway through. See if we can get through these. The next dungeon is Temple of Setlist, the Snake Boy dungeon.
Nicky Snicks.
Aesthetically, it's just a giant cave, kinda. It's okay. I really like the backdrop. If you're like looking out through the crevices, you can see the whole underground kind of city complex. That's pretty cool. But the groundwork in the dungeon itself is kind of meh.
Mediocre.
Yeah, it's dark. It's not inspired. The bosses. The first boss is the duo. The duo is like fighting anime characters. That one guy screams out his attacks before he casts them every single time. If you pay attention in there, it's hilarious. And they're like silly names too. It's what is it like? Cyclone Strike. I'm looking at he'll scream out Cyclone Strike before he casts it. It's hilarious. But yeah, I like the fight. What do you think about the duo?
That's all right. I'm like still unsure because I don't know a lot of the tanks don't know what the heck's going on. Apparently, you're not supposed to hit one. Maybe you can.
One has a lightning shield, so all the damage you do is dealt back to the group.
Okay, yeah. So that makes sense. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what's going on
without a lot of DRs.
Yeah.
And
I tried it one time. I was sweeping strikes, and I was like, everybody was dying. It's like maybe I'm not supposed to hit one of these guys or something.
I think we all learned the hard way with Bloodstorm. The second boss is the giant snake. I hate this fight. It's so tedious. He burrows
Yeah.
underground. You got to kill the dumb little snakes that come out. It's so easy. They die really fast. They need more health or something because you're just standing around. Even from week 1, we were just standing around with like really bad gear. So maybe this will get better, but I don't think so. I think this will just get more tedious as time goes on.
For sure. One thing, it might be helpful for everybody if you don't know, if you stun, like, you know, a lot of, you get what is it called? Not of snakes, I think. Like, you get somebody periodically gets like stunned by snakes. If you stun that, you don't have to kill it. You just stun it and it drops the debuff or the CC.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. I didn't know that till the other day.
The third boss is the sand guy, Galvaz or something. I can't remember. The guy that has the lightning pillars, and you got to stand in between the Link and the boss, otherwise he gets buffed and one-shots everybody. Pretty simple. First week we had no idea because we just wung it, right? And we all died horribly. But after you get it down, you got to switch the stacks. You know, it becomes a lot easier. So I think it's a decent fight. It's going to be a throughput thing. It's taxing on the healer, I imagine, higher up, but...
Whenever I think of that dungeon, I'm worried about this guy the most, honestly. Just because
Yeah. He's definitely the most scary boss for sure out of the bunch. And the last one, there's some really mixed bosses in here, come to think of it. Avatar of Setlist, it's Dreamwalker 2.0. We got another Wrath boss returning that somebody has to heal this time around. It's just an ad management fight for everybody else. You haven't healed it, have you?
No, not yet.
Neither one of us have healed the fight, so maybe as a healer you would enjoy this more, but as DPS right now, or even tanking, I've tanked it as well. It's just a bunch of ad management. None of them are that interesting, so pretty boring fight, all in all. And it's not that entertaining of a room to work around either. It's just a circle, donut. You have anything to add to that?
I don't know. I guess the most important thing on that one is you just gotta, like, don't let your healer get hit by those toads. I guess it, like, puts like a they can't heal or something. I can't remember.
Put a debuff that absorbs healing, I think, on them, or reduces rather.
As long as you're doing that and keeping your healer safe, it's a pretty easy fight, but it's not very fun.
Yeah,
if you're
pretty
healing,
mediocre
I guess.
fight. So Temple, average low score from me.
Yes.
Oh man, our favorite next, the Motherlode. That's sarcasm, by the way. Out of the bunch, I think this is my least favorite dungeon. It's got to be Motherlode.
I think like 90% of the player base is least favorite one.
It's got way too much trash, and I am dreading seeing this fight on teaming week. Unless they remove teaming or something, but it's gonna be a nightmare. We're gonna get like 2 masterminds per pack or something silly. That, you know, just fixate. I'm not looking forward to the Motherlode. And aesthetically, it's literally a giant garbage heap. So it's not even pleasant to look at.
It's what the goblins would do if they took over Ogrimmar and just turned into a giant
slum.
Yeah.
The bosses in there. You know what? There's not really anything that inspired to talk about, frankly.
Nah.
First one's Tank and Spank. The second one's the Elemental guy. I guess he's kind of interesting, but you can just group him and Bladestorm him down anyway. Maybe that'll change at higher keys, but, you know, you can bop the Earthquake on him too, so it kind of negates that. Third boss, Big Cone. Fourth boss, Helicopter.
Nimrod's Head 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, he summons Edge, and you gotta go smash the pegs, but it's not hard or anything.
It's amazing how many week 3 and still people don't know what the heck's going on when you get targeted by that.
I do wonder on high keys, say like a 10 Tyrannical, if the rocket that he shoots out is going to insta-gib people, because I was running this with all melee, and you can't dodge it with all melee, right? So everybody just gets smacked by it instantly. And on 0, you can live through it, of course, but I wonder on 10 if you couldn't do that. Like, you just kill the group.
Probably. Or maybe not kill, but do some hefty.
Yeah, maybe you have to pop a DR or something if you know what's coming. I don't know if there's timers for that yet or not. That's enough about the Motherlode. The next dungeon is the Underrot. Aesthetically, I love this place. The white fungus blood stuff in the giant cave. I like the low ceiling that it has going in it. It feels very claustrophobic. I don't know, it's aesthetically pleasing. I like the place.
I like all the spores just floating through the thing all the time. I feel like I'm gonna get sick staying in there or something.
Yeah. It's not exactly what I imagine when it comes to old god stuff, but I like what the direction they've taken with all the Gahoon themed architecture and levels and whatnot. But the boss is in there. The first one is that lady in the blood pool that summons the ad. She kind of just falls over at the moment.
Awesome fight for arms warriors. Sweeping strikes.
Yeah, you just hold for it and then just put it down. I wonder if she'll have a lot more health, the ad that is, later on. Maybe actually have to kill it. Second boss is Krogmaw. Man, I really want this mount. I really want this mount. I think I want it more than the parrot, actually. The giant squig face blood boy. The fight, he summons the ads after. Wait, does he summon ads, or is it just when he charges he pulls everything? I can't actually remember.
No, he when he does that little charge, he I guess he's whenever he's stomping through the ground, he uproots a bunch of little
and you got to step
maggot boys.
On,
you
got to step on all the larvae to kill them before they spawn more or whatever. I think he's an all right fight. You know, having a charge, manage a little bit of movement too. And aesthetically, I love him, so.
Yeah. Great mount. Can't wait to get him, hopefully.
Let's see. Sporecaller Zansha is the third. I can't even remember who this is.
This is the, it's the one that summons all the...
Yeah, you gotta go hit the mushrooms and hide under them. I feel like if you have a group that's not paying attention, he's gonna be really frustrating later.
Oh, yeah.
But if you got... Even if your healer's just running around clearing mushrooms or something, like a paladin just bubbles, it'll be pretty easy, but...
Clearing brambles.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's okay. The last boss is the Unbound Abomination. You don't really do damage to him. You damage him to spawn little slime ads, and then you kill those, and that's what damages his health. He also summons all the little spores. I like the room. Obviously, it's going to be very similar to what's in the raid on the first boss, but I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this fight. It's something about when you're hitting something you don't actually see its health move. It bothers me in a weird sort of way, and then you have to go through little ads.
I didn't like it at first, but if you like, I guess you can watch his it's like a reverse thing. Instead of his health going down, as you damage him, his energy bar goes up. So it's like you're still, I don't know, you can still see progress. Because every time his energy's all the way up, he spawns little doodads. Yeah. I don't know. It's all right. I think my favorite thing about that whole deal is the troll, like, what do you call him? The Titan Keeper dude, like the little. Yeah. I think he's pretty cool. Like he's got the troll armor on and shit. Looks pretty cool. But other than that, it's like yeah.
That was kind of odd. Moving on, we have Tol G'Dor, the Alcatraz prison dungeon. I think it's a pain in the ass to get to it the first time, because you have to swim unless you get the bug mount. But after that, I like it. It's exactly what I would expect island. It looks like Alcatraz to me, so having a dungeon setting in Alcatraz, I'm all for it. I like going in between each corridors. It might get a little confusing at times, I guess, but the very tight, close quarters feel to it. I like it for the most part. What do you think about the aesthetics?
I like it. Bring a rogue. You can cheese a lot of that stuff if you bring a rogue. With
the Shroud of Concealment.
No, you can. They can like lockpick a lot of like the cells and stuff and make it. You can do shortcuts and
the big gates. You get a point there. The bosses, the first one, the Sand Queen, the Crowlusk thing. The Sand Traps, it's okay. It doesn't really fit really with the rest of the dungeon.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I kind of forget about it actually, because you start on the beach, you can skip everything. I imagine in Mythic Plus we'll probably have to kill some of that for percent, but at the moment you can just skip it. So, I don't know, what do you think about the Sand Queen?
It's annoying. I mean, it's
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It's just a boss.
yeah, the same
Just
thing. Yeah,
don't step on the things and kill, cleave ads. It's
yeah.
basic normal fight. It's just
And then you come up through the sewers just like the Rock. The next one is the werewolf guy who lets out all the prisoners. He has the flashing dagger ability, is it? I think, where he throws the knife and you gotta go hide. And then he
oh
runs
yeah,
around
yeah.
letting out
You gotta LOS
everybody.
it.
Yeah, I like this fight a lot. Let you kind of pre-plan your cooldowns a little bit and save your Blade Storm, at least as an Arms Warrior, for all the ads at the end. Which can get a little scary because I pulled aggro off of basically every tank that I've ran it with so far. So you want to have parry up for that. But I
Back
like
to
the fight.
the rogue thing real quick. If you like, this might be useful on higher keys. If you go through, the rogue can actually open up all the prison cells on the way to him, and you can kill the ads. So he'll, once you actually engage him, he'll go open the cells, but there's no mobs.
Right. But I've seen that. But what's the fun in that? Like, how am
I
I
don't know.
supposed to
I
cheese
mean, like
open
on
up my
higher,
Blade Storm?
gotta pad my meter. No, I don't know. It might be helpful on like
Yeah.
higher keys to get rid of some of those.
You got a point there. I wonder if on teaming, if the cells are gonna have more ads in them. That'll be interesting. You'd have to have parry up if you didn't do that on higher keys, and just pray
Yeah,
you kill everything in
I
8
think I've
seconds.
popped parry. If we don't have a rogue in the group, I think I've popped parry every single time in that fight.
Yeah. Anyway, third boss is Knight Captain Valerie. Yeah, Valerie. I can't even remember who this fight is. Knight Captain Valerie. It's a girl.
Oh,
She's
the
powder
fire
kid.
maid.
Yeah, the powder kid girl. Oh man. I don't know. Half the groups I've done it with are like, let's move the barrels and drag out the fight. And the other half is just like zerg her, ignore everything, run to the opposite end of the room.
That's basically my experience as well.
Which, from what I've seen, there's not really much punishment. It's random, I guess. So at the moment, you can get away with just zerging her. And I imagine on high keys, you'll do that anyway. You'll zerg her down and roll the dice. And like 1 out of 10 times, the entire floor will be covered and you'll die. But at the moment, there always seems to be at least a little patch. So she's okay. It's a nice little risk-reward kind of thing. Or a gamble, rather. I don't mind the fight. And the last boss is Overseer Corgus, the guy up on top with the cannon shooting at you and the flashing gunpowder thing he does. This fight is really annoying if you're all melee. I'll tell you that much. But other than that, I don't mind it. It's kind of neat having to dodge the cannon and the movement mechanic. If you move too much, you get stunned. What are your thoughts on the last one?
No, it can definitely be annoying. It's not bad, but it's just annoying, I guess, is all. Not being able to move, because I always do like the AD spam all the time, so it's like hard to break that habit and stand still for a minute.
Especially if you have multiple melee, and it gets that circle debuff that you gotta spread out a little bit. It's not too bad though. Like a lot of it comes down to your positioning in the room itself when he knocks the tank back.
I think my favorite thing in there is seeing like new to them, like new people standing, like the cannons randomly like rotate and start firing off.
Oh yeah. No, we didn't even mention the cannons. We're gonna keep cutting each other off. We didn't even mention the cannons leading up to him either. You can kill the trash and have friendly fire with them.
Yeah, you can really pad the meters with that thing. Well, on heroic, you kill somebody in Mythic doing that.
Yeah.
I've gotten killed before. I forgot what I was gonna say about it. Whatever.
Oh well. All right. Last but not least, the final Mythic is Waycrest Manor. I think it's safe to assume this is. Well, okay, I'm not gonna assume. This is my favorite dungeon out of the group here.
Spooky, scary skeletons. Yeah. No, I really like it. Whenever I didn't do any dungeons when I was leveling. I just straight grinded quests. So like once I finally capped, I was like, all right, first dungeon I'm doing is Waycrest Manor. I couldn't wait to do it. I like it a lot.
So what is your favorite dungeon then?
I don't know. I think
batch.
Maybe I don't have a favorite. I think my top 3 is probably King's Rest, Siege, and Waycrest. Not in any order. Just I don't know. Those three are like my favorite ones.
I think
I don't have a single favorite.
Is a strong pick. I'd say Waycrest is definitely my favorite, and then after that, it's kind of between Freehold, Siege, and Kings probably. I don't know. I like the Pirate a lot. Underrot's visually appealing. I don't know. I know we're getting off track, but Waycrest, man, are definitely my favorites. A lot of bosses in here. I love the layout, the aesthetics. Reminds me of Diablo. The zone outside reminds me of Fable. Old games. The music. Oh, the music. The music's great. Waycrest.
For sure.
It's perfect. I like the maze kind of aspect to it. It's really easy to figure out now that you've done it a few times, at least for me. But the way the doors open, the halls, I like really enclosed dungeons because, you know, we say instance a lot these days, but you used to call it a dungeon all the time. It's the dungeon finder, and it feels like a dungeon even though it's a house because everything's so tight. I like that feel of each encounter, I guess. You have anything to add to the aesthetics of it?
I just love that it's a haunted house full of ghosties.
Yeah.
Not really ghosts, just
The
witches
Witcher
and
beats. Yeah,
witches and pig boys and
Witcher 3, the dungeon.
yeah.
Yeah. The bosses in there, the Heartsbane Triad, the three witches. I don't think anybody's ever going to call it that. They're throwing the eye back and forth. You gotta, you know, damage them each accordingly. I love this fight because it reminds me of The Beastmaster. It's an old movie. If you guys didn't know, these witches they had this ring with an eye on it that they used it to see, and they like passed it back and forth, and they're bickering the whole time. I don't know. I like to fight. You can't really pat it, so we're not shining there as warriors, I guess, but I like to fight.
That's alright. I hate when you get CC'd and the game just like, alright, time to blow all your cooldowns. And
yeah, you get a point there. The MC can be pretty frustrating. Hopefully, you know, just MC's the healer every time. We'll take care of ourselves, but... The second boss, the Soulbound Goliath. Well, I guess depending on how you progress through the dungeon. The giant tree guy. Is he a tree?
I don't know, what, like giant wicker man thing?
Yeah. He's, what does he even do?
He,
He's just like a giant target dummy.
He puts, he does the thorn things on, you get CC'd by the thorns, you gotta break somebody out of the thorns or they're just stuck.
They die so fast right now, kind of like the snake boss when they CCs. Hopefully that scales up a little bit. Maybe make it like Lord Margar from ICC with the bone spikes. They actually make people all switch to it to get them out.
I'm sure it will be like that way on higher keys. Just right now, it's just ball.
Yeah. Right now, you just kind of forget about it, and passive cleave breaks them out. Okay, the next boss is Raoul the Gluttonous. Pig Boy. This is my...
Roadhog.
Yeah, Roadhog. This is my favorite fight. This is my favorite boss in the entire list of dungeons in BFA.
Dang.
This is
Bold statement.
Pig Boy takes the cake. Not for any mechanical reason, really. I just love his aesthetic. I love the room. He's surrounded by disgusting dishes and everything, and he calls in his waiters and eats them.
Gluttony.
Yeah, it's perfect, and he like spits out slimes like hell yeah. And you gotta, you know, kill the slimes or whatever. I love this fight.
I think it'll be pretty fun on Mythic Plus. Like when you gotta kill those when he calls his little waiters out, you're gonna have to
slow them.
Nuke those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and he even yells out fresh meat like the butcher at the beginning. It's perfect. The last two bosses, Lord and Lady Waycrest. This fight's okay. I feel like I get baited every time when you get the dude down to execute range, and you get like one execute in and he heals back up. It reminds me of Garrosh in a way, just reusing his health pool over and over again. And then the Banshee comes out to the side and you cleave him down, which I'm pretty sure they increased her health because this last time we killed her, she died about the same time as the dude. And I didn't feel like that was the case the first couple of weeks. But what do you think about this fight?
I think that room's really claustrophobic. I hate that poison thing that spreads if you don't move out. It's just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that stacks and is really punishing if you got a lot of melee, that's for sure. The
It's just a really tight room. That's if it was. I don't know. I guess that's how it's supposed to be, but it's just annoying. But yeah, I like the fight. I love it when she comes out and you can just cleave, execute both of them. It's great.
the trench right after that, where you got to lead into the last room, the last boss. I hate that. The roots, like, clip your camera, and I'm sure you've ran into the same thing. I don't know what they were thinking. It's like they put trash in it too. Like, do you want to fight in first-person view here? It just seems counterproductive. Or you can just train them all to the end and pray that the tank knows what he's doing, because you can't see shit, you know, following all that stuff. So I wish they would just get rid of the branches or something in that little trough, so you can actually use your camera properly. But that's my only complaint with Waycrest. Everything else is gravy. And the last boss, Gorok Tool, the guy that summons ads at the end, who apparently is some great evil that they claim at the end that nobody's heard of. There's probably an alliance quest that I'm missing here that explains who he is, but as a role player, I have no idea. We just kill him.
I'm really waiting on that novel video. I really like Justivar.
Yeah,
I have no idea why he's evil or what's going on, but I want to know. But
he looks cool. He reminds me of he actually reminds me of the Ragnarok Fortnite skin.
Oh yeah,
blue,
for sure.
The blue face glowing and everything. He summons little ads. The little ads look really cool too, like little shadow beasts, but they're like in blue, all voidy and stuff. So, yeah, I like the fight. It's, you know, a nice cap to the dungeon.
I think it'd be fun as a healer. You can grab those little potions, I guess, and I can't be bothered, you know, being melee, but whoever's casting in the back can like throw those potions on the zombies or whatever you want to call them.
Oh yeah,
summons and kill them quickly or
debuffs.
I'm not sure if it one shots them or.
I mean, we've got sweeping strikes and blade storms, so what do we need?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care either way, but.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our recap. That's all the dungeons we've went through for today. This video has went on way longer than I was expecting, so if you've stuck this far through the video, thank you very much for listening. Is there anything you want to add to our little summary on the Mythics so far, going into Mythic Plus next week?
Looking forward to, I guess, relearning the fight. Some of these are going to have to like do differently because they're going to be...
Yeah, you have to really pay attention to mechanics, that's for sure. Because some of the bosses, I still don't know what they do. You know, you just kind of blow through them and ignore it.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. The last touch with Mythic Plus coming up, we're going to have that seasonal affix. Right now, they haven't said how long it's going for. I think it's till next raid tier. I should probably have pulled it up to actually read what it does. I can't remember off the top of my head. I do remember that it's going to really punish mass AoE pulling, so that's going to hamper, you know, just giant Avatar Blade Storm potential a little bit. But, you know, I think we'll make up for it with the Lord of War trait. So that's about it for my thoughts on Mythic. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any discussion to add, feel free to comment down below. We'll see you next time. Peace.